Okay, let's pick up on this discussion forward. We've got tax expert TP Ostwal joining in on the show. We have also Sandeep Parekh, managing partner at Finsec Law Advisors, joining in on the show. Gentlemen, hi, morning, Mr. Ostwal. If I could start off with you, just wanted to understand what's the way forward. While my colleague was saying that it's going to, eventually FPIs will have to comply. It's not going to lead to a huge sell-off, but there was a panic in the market for sure. And many out there are attributing that this perhaps may be the reason. What's the way forward here legally now?
Well, frankly speaking, these are the regulations world over exist, and almost all the banks and institutions are required to take the KYC requirement and a complete disclosure of the person providing the funds. So the entity, if they are holding through entity, then they are required to disclose who is the beneficial owner, who is substantially controlling the entity, and who has an economic interest in such entity. If all these details are required to be furnished, maybe with a view to get a KYC document, then absolutely why it should not be why it should be given leeway for FPI. I can understand those FPI which are government owned, government is bringing their money or some pension fund. I don't think any exemption has been also granted to them by SEBI. But by and large, everybody should comply with these regulations. And the SEBI had given enough time from August till 31st of January, and therefore there was no serious concern. Those who wanted to dispose of the shares, they ought to have done it in last 6 months. All of a sudden, if somebody is disposing of, it is not on account of these rules, but it is on account of different market factors.
You can say that the market has been falling under its own weight as well. But Sandeep, just wanted to get your sense in, and adding to what Mr. Ostwal just highlighted. Where do you think this is going to now act as an entry barrier for future FPI participation?
Hi, thanks. So I think I completely agree with Mr. Ostwal because I think correlation is not causation. This is like very old news. This came in August. It was supposed to be implemented from November 2023, and there's a 180-day period given to comply. So this is, yesterday's call has absolutely nothing to do with this old circular. Broadly, it has to do more to do with transparency. It's not restricting investments. It's just saying that, if you're kind of investing large sums in a single group of companies, you come out and tell us who you are, who are the human, the flesh and blood behind the investment. So these are not kind of very painful to implement. And, there is sufficient flexibility built into the circular itself, which makes it, it really impacts very few, maybe single digit or small double digit number of FPI. So I really, it seems like more of a inconvenience for a handful of people rather than kind of something which should result in a sell-off in the markets. And as I said, this is correlation is not causation. Yesterday's call had absolutely nothing to do with this old circular.
Enough, absolutely no correlation. Mr. Ostwal, just wanted to understand, with these rules, while they may be a bit dated in terms of whether or not this is going to meaningfully change the way that FIIs will look at India?
FIIs have no choice than to look at India because the people invest at the place where the returns are maximum. If you look at all the emerging markets, the best return, easy liquidity is in our country. And therefore, even though there are small markets, but the depth is not there, people don't like to invest in China. So therefore, which is the market left? Either Brazil or India or Indonesia. But of amongst all the three, I think we are more robust democracy, easy in terms of our regulations, though little bit on a delayed process of court decisions. But nevertheless, these are not the important factor. The people like to invest in a country where they have atmosphere which is favorable. And all the more now, if you look at Narendra Modi government, last 10 years tenure, India has been on the development. Absolutely, agenda was phenomenal to growth of India. And you can see this happening in Ayodhya, as well as in three states where elections have given a result. This government is bound to come back. This is the message world has, and therefore people have greater confidence in this country than anywhere else. Look at other countries where the elections are taking place, government after government are toppled and new government is coming in, and that is not happening here, and therefore that is the most important signal the investors require and to make an investment decision.
Fair enough. And Sandeep, just wanted to get in your thoughts in terms of the time period that has been given, 6 months to lower the holdings. Do you believe that this is sufficient?
I think it's more than sufficient. Like I said, it's a bit of an inconvenience for a very, very small number of FPIs. I think all the kind of discussions which happened at the time this came out was very clear. They want to minimize both type 1 and type 2 errors. They don't want to trouble people. And there are exemptions for widely held companies, for instance, funds which are registered, etc. So several exemptions are provided. So it's not likely to impact more than a handful of people. And it's like I said, it's an issue of transparency. It's not restricting investments at all. So I really don't see a very big issue. And if there's a genuine case, there are provisions under the regulations where SEBI can say, okay, this is a kosher investment, and we are kind of not kind of insisting on the letter of the law.
New participants entering the market, Sandeep, you don't think this would act as an entry barrier, do you?
Not at all. I think it's just, like I said, it's a transparency norm which is supposed to impact just a single digit or small double digit number of FPIs out of thousands of registered foreign investors. And it's not an absurd requirement. So just because we are in an attractive market doesn't mean we impose absurd laws. This is not an absurd law at all.
All right. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining in, Mr. Ostwal as well as Sandeep.